Hello there, everybody. It is Thursday. Good to see you. Little Camel, Lady Fantasy. I'll tell you what. And then earlier, little Nectar, and we were doing fabulous. How are y'all doing? Thank you for being part of this journey. Speaking favor upon us all. Nothing missing, nothing broken. We got abundant favor. You know, that's what makes us prosper, and we are a prospering be of service to others, and happy birthday. How is it going, everybody? It's a beautiful day. I mean, the energy is just fabulous. I mean, couldn't ask it to be any better. I mean, it's like, the most kind of beautiful raw power. It's like being in the kitchen and I don't know, making an Italian dinner, lasagna, you got 50 different things, but man, it all comes together and then everyone shares of the bounty. So that's pretty cool. Hi, Heidi. How you doing, my love? Hello to Tony there with you. We just speak favor over you, dear. So good to see you. It always is. Hey, Nina, what's up? Good to see you. Nina's going to be on tomorrow with Jenny, and we're sending it out the vibe right now that Gaia's going to be able to come on. No internet problems, so she's not going to be able to get in. They would get on and off. So there's a project. Hey, Mad Cow, good to see you. Brandy, hello. Shannon, what's up? Good to see you, Eds. David Castle, you and Rufus, hello. Hello, John Bryce. Deborah Sloan, so good to see you. Jules, much love, dear. Big Al is in the room. Good to see you, brother. Emperor Rex, hello. And Eye of the Maelstrom. Good to see you, Andrew. Hey, Steve, good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Abbey Road, hello. I like that. Abbey Road, great album. Made a lot of good music there, didn't they? Hey, Ray, good to see you. Hello, Linda. Good to see you. Lots of people just pouring in. Robert V is in the house. Marsha, how are you, my dear? I always have you on my mind. So I know you're surrounded. I trust you are doing well. So good to see you. What else is happening? Someone said something about, I like this idea, Witches Wednesday. Wouldn't it be great for just a place for the witches? And by the way, someone said, well, what about us dudes? Wizards? Well, I don't know. I mean, I guess a dude could be a witch too. I don't know. I mean, is it really gender specific? I don't know. But I think it would be a great day just to have those who are the wise women and wise men just to come and hang out, talk about spells, talk about just anything. The world needs more witches, it really does. If we had more witches, I would dare say this would be a far better place to live. I know the vibe would be better. Just me. Hey, S, what's up? Good to see you. Warlock, that's another good one. Yeah. We've missed you, Marsha. That's all I got to tell you, dear. You are surrounded by much love, and I just got to tell you, we uphold you. Hey, Carlton, Kathy, good to see you. So, saw Mad Cow say this in the chat room, and it is so true. Grow a garden this year. If there's ever a year you want to have a garden, and little FYI, now's the time to be buying the stuff because it's like everything else. Short supply. So heads up. Hey, Shirley, what's up? Good to see you, my dear. She says her father was a warlock, got saved because a prophet. Well, I think we're all saved. I mean, I don't know if that term, I know what it used to mean for me, but now I look at it and I got to say, saved from what? Ourselves? I don't know. Boom, boom. Emperor Rex, what's happening? Good to see you. Hey, new. Always a good year to grow a garden. That's the truth, But this year, woo, I mean, talk about sticker shock. Yikes. $5 for an apple? Man, I don't know. I just got to tell you. Hey, Karen, good to see you, my dear Queen of Quartz. Folks, I've said it before. the angel cards. It's happening. I guess Al will alert everybody, or David. And by the way, David and Karen are making t-shirts with these symbols, sigils. Powerful stuff, man, walking around. I mean, that's like carrying, a freaking spotlight with you. Watch out, baby. Let's see what else is happening. Tonight, the Steiger perspective over on Artist First. We apparently keep crashing the server. I don't know why. So many people listening. How about that, eh? But check it out, artistfirst.com, 10 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. where I live. And it's going to be fun. The theme tonight is, well, that didn't turn out as planned. I think we can say the last 2+ years have not turned out like they were planned. I mean, it's a mess. That's what it is. It's a mess. That's all I got to tell you. It's a mess. Or what they have to say, it's trap. It's trap. And then, of course, our ever ready standby, run, Forrest, run. Okay. Hey, Teresa, what's up? Good to see you, my dear. Joyce Marie, how's it going? Eric, good to see you as well. Deb Bailey, what's up? Good to see you. So the t-shirts. Oh, yeah. I was telling my wife, I said, there's enough merchandise by all the creative talent here that a person could literally plan their wardrobe, for all 4 seasons and look very good, have that debonair look, that look of sophistication, that look of, wow, everyone knows they got something. So that's what I'm talking about. Jenny, what's up? Good to see you. The card for the day is Lavia, the Angel of Revelations, Deus Marbellus, the Admirable God, patron of spiritualism, mediums, and psychics, clairvoyants, fortune tellers, channelers, telepaths, mind readers, transcendental philosophers, artists, musicians, poets, and writers. Telling you. Said, what was that, Heidi? I didn't see that. I'll have to go back over here. Give me a second. How is your shirt today? I only see the funny. Oh, only the funny face. Okay. The shirt says, we're all mad in here, because we are. Hey, we're all mad hatters. Never doubt the stimulation of eccentricity. I'm an eccentric. I keep my wife entertained all the time. She says she's never met a man like me. That's true. But she will tell you, eccentrics are, you got the genius thing, you got the whole metaphysical, the spiritual thing. I mean, it's a trip 24 hours a day. So if you are such of a leaning towards, yeah, you're the life of the party. It's true. Just saying. Let's see. It said this angel brings spiritual ascension, intuitive understanding, helps to understand the revelation we get in dreams and daydreams, brings good sleep and ruvidating rest. Yes, indeed. Allows to gain awareness of the mechanics of the psyche. How timely. Inspires you to read a lot, to study and learn continuously. Symbol of premonitions and I like this. Reciprocations. If someone does you bad, you don't need to put a curse on them. You don't even need to give them time in your elevator to your penthouse. The natural laws will take care of it. It's not your burden. It's not your purpose in life to see that anyone who does you harm get what they got coming back. That's not our job. There are other natural laws and forces that take care of that. We're supposed to continue to move on. Somebody needed to hear that. May have even been myself. I don't know. That's it, Jackie. Nothing missing, nothing broken. Absolutely. Hey, Elderberry, what's up? Hey, Robin, good to see you. So, yeah, represents great mysteries of the universe and penetration of the unconscious, teaches secrets of telepathy and of the psyche, fills us with energy to discover the science of the occult. You know, when I was on Jenny's show, what an honor to be called an occultist. I don't see myself as that. I don't see myself as labels, but, you know, yeah, I was thinking about making a shirt that says, I've been called an occultist. Yeah, far out. That's all I got to say is far out. This angel shows how to express knowledge and understand the spiritual and physical world by using only intuition. Ow. This angel provides us with enthusiasm and abundance of joy. Happy, happy, I'm happy, happy, happy. Mm-hmm. You're not happy? Oh, come on, loosen up a little bit. Come on, baby, just kind of swing to it. You know, I have Lynn, I have a happy dance that I do and cracks her up. But anyway, well, there you go. And it protects us from unhealthy and misleading spirits, being stubborn. Cures poor observation, lack of faith, and self-confidence. Offers protection against torment, sadness, and harbingers of misery with that which overwhelms some at times. Exactly. So there you go. Hey, you know, the way I look at it, not everybody needs a gas station along the highway. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's what you need. Sometimes you don't need it at all. So take it for what it's worth. There you go. And to do. Hey, BW, how you doing? BTW, excuse me. Beloved Abstract, how you doing? The rattlesnake shake. Okay. So, hey, Divine Empress, what's up? Here we go. All right, we're about to start the lesson. So we're going to finish this whole thing up with the Ouija this week. And it's still interesting to read some of the comments that are coming out of this. I mean, how some people really perceive that this is a device that evil comes from. But yet, you know, if you go back, we as a group, I mean, we've studied the Talisman of King Solomon. We went extensively through this book. You can see that right above my head, that's the fourth pinnacle of Jupiter. When I saw that pentacle, I immediately was drawn to it and subsequently have a number of, pendants that are in that. I mean, here it is here. Powerful. I can tell you this. I can't wear this all the time. I can't. I can keep it in my office, but this is a powerful thing. Anyway, this book, all right, so are these talisman good, evil? What are the spirits behind them? Then, we did the 5 lectures on demonology. And I would have thought that those, well, not everybody listens to them. I understand. But, we really got an insight into this next realm that we're all bound to. We've all bought the ticket. It's just a matter of when our seat is called. But this was it tore down the construct of this good and evil. And evil spirits, I keep asking, and no one will answer me. Who is defining evil here? Tell me. Which definition are you using? And is that your definition? Did you come up with that definition? Are you the one who can define what evil is? Because if you can't, you're in a trap, because you're going to use something else that someone else thought and going to put it in your noggin. And then it's going to do the whole contamination thing. So demons, are they evil? Are they bad? Are they here to harm you? Do they really want your soul? Is that what they want? Is that what this is really all about? The taking of your soul? We curse our children. We sell them to a deity we have no idea about, but we sell them. We get them involved into a soul contract. Discussed that last week. Then someone wrote me, and someone who was new wanted to know, well, what was this book? Well, here's the book. It's The Lesser Key of Solomon. This is I just tell you right now, this is a book that, well, I wouldn't play around with this one. I'm just telling you, you're a fool if you do. This book is by far one of the more deeper dives, because we get introduced to some really bad mofos here. I mean, if you buy it, that these beings exist, these angels in these different houses that influence all of us while we're here. There are genies in here. There's jinn in here. There is the archetype of the master demons. Yeah. Got legions attached to them. There's one bad hombre in here that has an unlimited attachment of legions of demons. So is that, I mean, I read a number of the incantations. As I told you, I conducted one particular ritual right out in my garage specifically for one of these demigods. Things in my life have been just great, improving all the time. I mean, so I'm still trying to grasp this. Now, I like what Lucky Stone, I think it's Smith now, he said, well, I think the pendulum is more connected in the tarot to the one-on-one, where people just come in, willy-nilly to play with this. Yeah. And I can dig that. But I think what we have definitely learned is that it will get you probably in a neighborhood you don't want to be in. So I thought we would try to get this going. Hey, genetically modified, how you doing, dear? Because I don't know, maybe it's just me. I talk to my wife about this all the time. When I was under the God spell, I knew of some of the archangels, Gabriel, Michael, Raphael. I knew a couple of them, only from the Old Testament. They're not really spoken about in the New Testament. What we did get introduced into the New Testament was in the book of Mark, never written by Mark, but nevertheless, we got introduced to a new species. That was the interesting thing, that most people never realize this, because in the Gospel of Mark, we're introduced to a race of beings known as demons. Now, these are not the same demons that are talked about in the Old Testament, nor are they the same demons spoken about in the Quran, not even within the Kabbalah. We're introduced to a new set of species of beings that apparently have a very predominant role in the spiritual, but are very much attached to the physical realm. Okay. Now, that kind of crap, gets you all messed up in your head because, as I said yesterday, you end up being in a constant battle of an enemy that's supposed to be defeated, that is evil, but yet is always gaining ground against a so-called God that is all knowing, all, everything. Okay. So let's get into this thing with the Ouija board. I still contend that we don't know about the Ouija board. All right, so let me pull this up here. There he goes. All right, how the little Ouija operates. That might help us a little bit to understand this. Okay. While we two ladies were engaged one evening, they were waiting for someone to come in here, and I'm just going to get here. And so the spirits knew about these two visitors that they were coming, and they spoke to one of the mediums and said, listen, we'll answer their questions, and here are their questions. So I'm just going to pick up in the middle of this. It says, I did not expect to talk about the matter tonight and have not my parchment prepared, but it is all right, and I will try to remember the details. The modern planchette, or Ouija, is an invention of God, and it was made by man who did not even believe in its mission or the spirits. He did not know that God ordained him to make the invention, but made it from heavenly inspiration, and he sells it as a toy. But God did inspire and ordained him to make this modern planchette, and he sells it, never dreaming that a Holy Spirit came and incited everything that he thought of in regard to this right hand of God, and God so desired it named the modern planchette. A piece of pine wood was chosen for the small table, as it is the easiest to charge with electricity, which it draws through the mortal body, and the incense of the spiritual magnetism, which is always around the mortal and is half of what they breathe. We just don't breathe in gas. There's something else mixed with the gas. The atmosphere is not all oxygen or hydrogen. It is partly filled with spiritual gravity, or the ether, which goes to make up life. When mortals place their hands upon the heart of love and faith, they must believe in it to be successful in its use. A tiny elf is instrumental in manipulating the board. The magnetism of the mortals using the board will tell the tiny spirit, or Tom Thumb, who is a dwarf and pushes the table about on the letters, that they wish to talk to the heavenly spirits. When these two people set their hands upon this little elf's shoulder, he grasps the attention and says to the spirit, "Here are your mortal loved ones who want to hear from you." The speaker spirit steps behind the mediumistic person using the board and proceeds to use the spiritual brain or solar plexus to produce the desired results. In other words, the messages are sent through the solar plexus or spiritual brain invisibly. The solar plexus is a small network of nerves used only by God's spirit messengers. The spiritual brain responds, but as yet the earthly brain knows nothing about the message that is to come. Little nerve sentries carry off this message to the mortal brain, and it passes to Ouija from the mortal brain's message, which has just arrived. Thus, the table is carried involuntarily to the letters. This explains the reason why the table will not travel alone. It must have the spiritual help through the mortal bodies. The solar plexus and the four hands must operate the board to cause the message to be put on the board. These causes starts, crosses currents of electricity, and this makes the table move. The large table is only a field of letters, and Ouija is a little elf from the heart of God. As the character of the person's heart is, do they get good or bad messages, and the true or untrue? For they bring a like influence about them. The clean mind brings about it good influences and good spiritual aid. But the mortal, known to the spirit world as the black-hearted, bring the evil orgs, the unrepentant slaves of Satan, who know their business. There are no secrets from them, and these receive the untrue and uncanny results or messages. Now, a little stepping back here, when I was in Bible college, what we knew these to be were familiar spirits. We all have one, like we all have a guardian spirit. This familiar spirit, and again, this is how myths become interwoven into our reality, that is the spirit that will lie and deceive you because it knows you. And most people are self-deceived. And thus the reason why these familiar spirits are attached to the vast majority of mortals is because they fulfill exactly what the mortal is desiring. Weird, isn't it? The little elf, or Ouija, or the solar plexus, does not know right from wrong and takes whatever is given to him to send out. The mortal using the board must have the mediumistic tendencies to be successful. That is, a very sensitive solar plexus, or they cannot be used spiritually, and Ouija is just the link that connects the spiritual brain with the mortal brain. Something is touching the back of my neck. Excuse me. This is his peculiarity. The solar plexus can be manipulated by the medium when spirits are not present to grasp it in a spiritual message from Ouija to put upon the board. Sometimes the medium solar plexus will grasp hidden thoughts and mix them with those of the earthly brain, and that explains Ouija's human side. The following was given on the board one evening simply to amuse the children of the household. It is imaginative and beautiful, and I give it as a contrast to the more serious religious and scientific data. So this story came from the Ouija board to be told to the children. Ouija's story of his own daydream life. When it is time for me to awaken, says Ouija, morning glories ring out their bells to tell Ouija it is morning. Then the daffodils bow down their dewy heads to give Ouija a shower bath. The honeysuckle gives Ouija breakfast, and then I sing God's praises as I ride on the clear, white-sailed water lily. And as I float along in the smile of God's Mother Earth, the sunshine, I, Tom Thumb, play upon the strings of the harp of God and sing a song of love to the thrush and the leered bird. My landing place is on a lily pad. Then I spy a ripe berry hanging near the crystal mirror of God, and this tempting dish is my lunch. Then I visit the robin's nest and teach their babies how to fly. Then I wait for God's angels to find me, and I bring them to this home to talk. When my afternoon's work is ended, I fly to sunny climes and feast from the red-throated trumpet flower and sip the attar of roses for my supper. Then I flit back again, and as I come, I hum a song of mirth to the passer-by. This is one day's duty. Then the gloaming comes, and I am here to whisper in your ear and ask your needs. This message I take to heaven, and here I say, this is a night to bring glad tidings to earth. Come with me, O dear fairy spirits of God, and cheer the hearts of the helpless and unhappy. So Jesus says to his first right-hand spirit, go to God's house with 6 other spirit helpers and pray for his answers to come to these questions that Ouija has brought. So 7 great white pure spirits go in a group to see the great master over all. They each wrap an answer in their girdle of gold and promise to say, show us, dear earthly spirit, the way to your shrine of mercy. So they follow Ouija to this home. Then I hop upon this heart, a table of God's invention, and help and say, dear Holy Spirit, these blessed mortals wish to learn more of thy work in heaven, of heaven and good. I will push this heart of love about to the letters if you will tell the message that God sent. So Ouija runs the heart about, and your departed ones creep into your soul. And when they are through talking, if I make somebody laugh, it is only creating happiness, which God desires to be thus. So the spirits await my mirth to bubble overflowingly. Then they tap me on the back and say, come, little fairy helper, and take us back to the starry heavens, where you can kiss the feet of Jesus and receive his thanks for the evening's labor. So thus I go for the night and do as the angel spirits ask. Then I suck from the stream of eternal blessedness and pray for eternal love and patience. Then I ride on the back of the comet to earth, and I seek a night of slumber inside a big white St. Joseph lily, or in the heart of a rose. Thus is Ouija's life, and it has not been in full blossom for a very long time. So, I have to finish. God will help me to become good and holy with time. And he says that I can be funny if I am not bad at heart. So if you are told a falsehood, let it rest upon the shoulders of Satan's evil orgs who disguise themselves as pure spirits of God by hiding their faces. And then they steal my words of truth. I, Tom Thumb, live my life among the flowers, and I have my work to do to help them shine brightly, to make mortals happy as they pass them by. This is how we live. The pansy blossoms are the soldiers who guard the doorway of my heart, and they put all hearts at ease, for pansy means thoughts, and thoughts mean love. Roses blush when Tom Thumb kisses their lip-like petals, as I sprinkle dew on their cheeks and whisper to the thorns on their branches. They cannot prick my heart as Satan put them there to do. For the bridal rose is my sweetheart, and I nestle close to her bosom, and her sweet breath comforts me. I play hide and seek behind the fern-like palm, and I sail on the palms and the water lily. The golden poppy is my cradle as it always sways back and forth in the breeze, and I feast on the golden buttercup, her friend. The sweet honeysuckle reaches out her white, slender, suckling straws for the fairy Tom Thumb to sip its sweet lotion. The foxglove smiles with her bridesmaid blushes. Then I climb her snake-like flower in search of honey. She wraps her tongue around my neck and tries to strangle me, as would the serpent who spoiled her beauty. The watercress is my raft on which I herd the water bugs, and the dragonfly tries to catch me, but I sink down deep in the soft, mossy river banks. The cowslip and the grassy meadows bow their golden heads when Tom Thumb takes his bride to sleep upon their beds. Our wedding, it was read beside the altar lily by that funny man who jigs and shouts and says his name is Billy. Our wedding breakfast sweet is served from the sweet briar's thorny flowers. We may have a thorny road to go, but the bride says, love is power. So we travel down the stream of life, so happy and so free, until the little Tom Thumb comes to sit upon my knee. We rock our baby in a cradle of the snowdrop white, and he goes to sleep there, for he knows he dare not fight. Such a wee white candle in the wind doth sway, but he'll grow up to be a useful Tom, as I am someday. Our life is very happy, we never e'er go dry, for we blow the morning glory's horn, and the beetle brings us rye. To sip out the bluebell's cups, we can feast on honey-dew from every flower that God made, which he also gave to you. That concludes my flower life now, for I must go home to Mrs. Thumb. Well, that's pretty inspirational to come from a Ouija board. And I really got that, what this is saying is also, someone was talking about that shield, that prayer, that protection. It's in here. You just got to pick it out. I find that just so interesting. The Ouija board, God's inspired telegraph. Moses, the great prophet of old, comes again to earth to speak. And this is all from the Ouija board. As I did in former ages to my people, for the time has come when people of earth must grow more spiritual, deeper thinking, and closer in touch with the great universe beyond their present limitations of the knowledge of God's great truth. And understanding again, this was written over 100 years ago. Spiritualism was beginning to grow everywhere. And very much as we see today, there was a great exodus out of the modern day organized religions, but they carried with them that foundation. It says, verily, verily, I say unto you, the spirit of humanity now reigns amongst you, not altogether in flesh and blood, but in spirit form, which is invisible to humanity. Verily, verily, I say again that the Spirit of God still reigns, as it did thousands upon thousands years ago, still building up a universe near to heaven. At last, it seems, he has improved the brain of humans so that they have spiritual sense and realize that in this time and day of mortal strife, God is still with them, is succeeding in bringing them near to the top of his universe where vision is clear unto men. And yet, you get the distinct impression here that the people operating this machine went with purpose, they went with knowledge, they had experience, they knew exactly what they were needing or wanting, and it presented itself. This is nothing that Hollywood has shown, that's for sure. Why? Well, this isn't going to sell any movies, but it'd be damn helpful, wouldn't it? The spiritual sense giveth he as a means of communication between the link of humanity and spirit life, which is himself, his form, his universe. Glory be unto those who seek to find him in the darkness of this error, standing upon a pedestal of nature known to man as truth. He lifts his right hand and points with scorn at the infidel that cannot believe in him and his works. Long has God sought a way, dear children, to lead you to his pearly gates of the fairyland, heaven, and to prepare thee to meet him, cleansed of sin and strife. Long has he used his knowledge to fight the evil enemy Satan, for truly Satan would not have the mortal world find God. Verily, verily, I say unto you, seek now a way to find him through your own bodies before thou diest in ignorance of his blessed truth. Reach out thy hand and ask for spiritual aid to attain the cross of glory, to fulfill the life with merits which he giveth thee. Know now that God is always and always will be the instigator of inspiration. And he sendeth his children who have passed beyond to tell the dear weary ones that you have a home waiting with him and canst lean on his right arm through immortality. Seek thee, dear children of the blessed, but suffering world of God, the way to find the eternal blessedness of the hereafter, when death do ye part from earthly belongings and all that thou knowest there. Seek the right way. Be ye prepared to see thy loved ones gone beyond at once. Look to go forth upon a journey to a far and beautiful paradise. Open thine eyes, O mortals. Death is not the end of life, but the beginning, and is only a key that opens the door to a secret that is hidden from thine eyes. Seek to look into that door when thou art called, and God is pleased to assure thee that heaven is the beautiful gift that thou hast striven for. Spirit's forms will no longer invisible over there. Spirit forms will be no longer invisible over there, and thou will be at home amongst them. No sorrow, no fear, no strife, after thou givest up the flesh and blood, which Satan would steal from the only creator of good. Hast thou not in the silence heard a voice speaking to thee, as did Moses on the mount? Has not something beyond you urged you to go on, to do the unfathomable bidding? It was a spirit from a loved one that spoke, and who still clings to you and watches over you, trying to urge in the right path. 7 heavens beyond this first earth are there, invisible to mortal eyes. 7 great spirits hover on those 7 heavens, sending back 7 times 7 spirits to take up the thoughts of humanity to God, there to repose upon truth and there to cast off evil. Satan takes care of his own. 7 lights shine upon the mortal earth. Jesus Christ is reincarnated there too, and shines as of old, with his 7 spirit helpers, guarding God's people against destruction by Satan. Spirits of the 7 heavens hover about every individuality at will. Dost thou not know that thou art never alone? That God takes care of his children as a shepherd does his flock? Dost thou not know, when thou desire to do so, that they may speak to God through the medium of thy soul? Dost thou not know that loved ones hear your thoughts, take your thoughts to heaven, there to receive judgment? Speak to them as they stand right now beside you. Do you not know that God inspired mortals to make a table that seems human-like in action? Can you not believe that spirit life knows all your thoughts and desires you to know all their thoughts, just when they also trotted upon the earth? Should thou not believe that since God made a great universe of planets, that he made them all as one? One is the first and lowest form, that on which thou standest. Thou cannot see the others, the completion of God's holy work. But you who feel a heavenly touch laid upon you, look up. Reach your hand up to heaven still further, O brother and sister. A tree is a symbol of humanity, as it takes root and grows from the black murky earth to a picture of beauty, which is good. Good means God, the creator of that tree. So God also created a telepathic sense in man for a reason. The reason is to be so that his mortal ears would listen to good. This tree he also made as a shelter to mortals, which is good. Out of this tree he also made food to sustain mortals' life and led it unto good. Out of this tree he also created a ladder in material form as a symbol of mortals to climb and to seek that which is above. Out of this tree he also made a bed to rest the mortals when weary of strife. Out of this tree he also created a table on which to eat thy bread, which is the staff of life. So out of this tree, God also put forth a table, and upon that table, an alphabet, which spirit life can read, as does humanity. Upon this table, he sets a small heart-shaped table. To prove truth, he inspires mortals to make it like unto a heart, the small heart of happiness, by which they may talk to him. So this tree tells the secrets which God asked man to seek. Spirits of God come to those who have a spiritual sense combined with a telepathic sense. And blessed is the mortal who has understood God's desire and has discovered this gift from the tree of life. Blessed are those who commune with heaven through this means. Verily, verily, I say unto you, saith I, a Holy Spirit, thou hast at last discovered God's true and only telegraph to eternity. And we stop there. Rather interesting, isn't it? It's in poetry, it's in poem. I love the Tom's thumb analogy. Yeah. So it kind of gives a whole different point of view to a device that's been hijacked. And again, to just be very layman, you've got ignorant people operating a sophisticated machine. And many of them are never, how shall I say this, don't have the aptitude to ever drive it. So, Scotty Boy, man, I got to quit reading some of this stuff. Scotty Boy, can you define that a little bit more, please? The spirits are moving around here. I got to tell you what, that literally, there was a hand on the back of my neck. Okay, tea time. Wow. So, in conclusion, I think it's very evident that with a person who's been properly orientated, properly trained, taken the time to study, a spirit board can become a very powerful medium. Nina says, welcome to my life. Yeah. I'm just reading some of this. The planchette. What was that? Well, Debbie, I guess there are places, and I have checked this out. You can find them on Amazon that do make wood planchettes. The board that I ordered, and I think it came while I was reading that, is made of solid birch. You can find them. And I agree, plastic. But then again, would the spirit realm realize that, well, plastic is, something that we use? We all got it in our body. We drink enough of it every day. What's a planchette? Oh, come on, Scotty. You know what a planchette is. A planchette is technically a pendulum. Planchette. In this case, with the Ouija board, it's made as a heart and, has the center into it. I think you know that. I love this. Well, Joyce, maybe you can find someone who would make you one with cedar. We got a lot of talented people here. I have no doubt we could probably get one. So much for all this history. Had no idea. Isn't it true, Teresa? I mean, that's why I do this. Because there was so much misinformation. And I read it. And this is a very mature group. Back in the day, there was a scripture that said, milk is only for the babies. Babies can't handle strong meat. They don't know what to do with it. They freak out on it. What my point is, there's many of us here, we feed upon strong substance, strong meat, if you want to use that. And it was just remarkable. I mean, I approached the spirit realm with respect. I'm going to be over there. Interesting, Shannon. Yeah. Eric says I had Tom Thumb. I still can't get over it. See, folks, now that's what I am looking for. Brent, I know you're listening. You're the only one. So you and I will be doing this work together. You see, this is what I believe can come forth. The world's in a very stressful situation. And, again, you look at the tarot, and I'll be talking with the ladies tomorrow on this. But if we look at all these different means of divination, I see each one, as Francis pointed out, each one has its unique ability in the message that it carries. Some are complex, some are very simple, some are very in-depth, some are not. And that tells me that there is a force that's really wanting to get over here. And if we can get out of the nonsense that's been indoctrinatedness into us, I mean, we're not idiots here. We're not fools. Many of us are very in tune to the other side. In fact, there's a great deal of us that we're only here temporarily. We're there as well. So anyway, hey, Julianne, how you doing, my dear? You're welcome to come on too. If any of the ladies, and all right, the guys too, tomorrow is kind of like Friday, muses. This is something I really want to do. I think we're close to a breakthrough here. I really do. I think that as a group, we have such unrecognized potential, and it's going to waste. So many of you have a key critical role to be playing and to be adding to this group. And granted, it's a small core group, which is the way I guess it's supposed to be. So, anyway, Delaney Peril says that on the 5th, she's going to be on I guess that's this Saturday then, isn't it? With Robert over there in the Milky Way Soul Tribe. Gravitational pull here. We make a difference in this energy. I believe, Joyce, that is absolutely true. Wow, Thomas, that would be a board to keep. I remember one in my life, I guess when I was about 10. I'd love to have had them because those were all wood. Yeah. Well, Kent and Tammy, we love y'all too. Okay, Carolyn, what's up? Okay, so just my thoughts, because it changed my whole perception on this thing. Now, and oddly enough, I saw recently in the guide that they had the movie, the Ouija Board. Then, it's funny because if you go and look at that one, it's so interesting. They go into a seance, right? Now, if you're just willy-nilly going into a seance, you're going to get your ass kicked. If there's really something there, if you really open up a doorway, a portal, you can get your butt kicked. And then they bring in the Ouija board, and it's like, okay, let's see. So you're sending out some real nasty vibes already. You're scared. So that's just like amplifying, it's like, give them, one of the Red Bull drinks. Like, okay, we got them now. And yeah, and you're going, really? It's not the purpose at all. So I just believe that there are messages that, much like when with Patrick and I, when we did Talking with the Planets, that was so groundbreaking, so freaking ahead of its time. And that's what this group did by intuition. That's what I believe is we're capable of and doing it even more. I don't think the other person's pushing, but I'm not going to get into this. Everyone has their own way of doing it. You shouldn't be pushing at all. I mean, if you're doing it correctly, you don't have to push anything. But anyway, that's just me. Yeah, Dr. Strangelove. Yeah, yeah. I haven't seen the new trailer. Well, folks, yeah, Heidi, I miss Patrick too. He was really Tom Thumb history, UK, Lincolnshire, buried in a church. He had his own house near a medieval castle. Just forgot the name. Tom Thumb did exist. Wow, that's cool. Well, this is far out. Okay, folks. Now I'm having to read the hand signals. It looks like it's all good. So I know this for whoever listens to this in the future. Now you know how to properly approach this machine, this device, this medium. And if you happen to be one of these humans that have it naturally in you already, you're going to get tremendous results. Always remember, do you walk into a house and just merely walk into the house without giving the house a blessing or anything? I speak favor into every house I go into. Don't tell me you're that crew. You just simply walk in, don't say anything. Well, you should change that. But in any case, if you're going to be spiritual work, then you need to take and use the proper tools. Every profession has its do's and don'ts. So anyway, there we go. Brian says, be sure to use a circle of salt before turning it on. We all have a lot of different modalities. Yeah. I think you can actually speak, because my words in the spirit realm, they actually have light to them. They have force. They have intensity. Why? Because I know every word I speak will not return into me void, but it will prosper in the thing for which I sent it. But most people just simply talk to be talking. All right, everyone, tune in tonight at artistfirst.com and 10 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. if you live in the Mountain West, and wherever you may be. And hey, Crystal Clear, good to see you. Hey, Loretta, good to see you as well, my dear. So tomorrow's going to be fun. Looking forward to have the ladies, and if anyone else wants to come on, Grandpa Brian, you want to come on? This is going to be fun. I'd like to have a much more group discussion on this, and let's see what we can do. All right, so everyone, just get into the flow. And mic test 1 2. Yeah, I got the mic test. Can you hear that? Can you hear that? Can you hear that? Who's there? Dave? Dave's not here. Anyway, so much love to y'all. Heidi, love y'all. We'll see you later on tonight, and definitely tomorrow with the panel. How's that? All right. Peace out, everyone.